Today's episode of Talk to Me is sponsored by Mental Health Awareness. How is that possible? Just because I said so. But the truth is, we want you to be aware that there is help available if you need it. If you are having thoughts of suicide or just need to talk to someone about it, because of a family member, loved one, or significant other, dial 988. And for veterans, press 1. It is Mental Health Awareness Month. Make sure you take care of your mind because mental health is important. Welcome to Talk to Me. I'm your host, Brenda Warren, and today we are about to spill the tea. I am joined today by my partner in crime, none other than the 15-minute results coach, Lisa Ducharme. And I hope you guys have buckled up and saddled in because I'm on vacation. So this one is not going to do business as usual, but we're still going to do a show because I wanted to, and I can do that no matter if I'm on vacation or not because I am doing business my way. And we want to talk to you guys today about how you can do business your way and become an unstoppable entrepreneur. Lisa, as always, welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you here with me as we discuss. What are we discussing today, Lisa? Because you see that quickly, I totally forgot. Oh, I remember. It said, can we talk? Developing strong business and personal foundations for your life. Because remember, Lisa, we were talking the other day, this morning, last week, next week. I don't know, we're always talking. But I was concerned because of all the mess we're seeing out here in these social media streets, and how there are a lot of businesses that are actually thriving, some not so thriving, but people that have been doing business for a long time and have no foundation. It's basically like the emperor has no clothes. And I was shook, kind of perplexed, and just a little bit irritated because I had been involved in some courses, some trainings, some talks where people basically could not do what they said they were going to do for me. And that's after I paid. So I was not a happy camper. So I thought, let's talk about how you can create these foundations. And also the other part, Lisa, was the fact that in addition to the ones that were not providing the services they said they could, some truly made valiant attempts to, but they didn't have the infrastructure or the money to do it. Point in place. Although I am all for doing business your way and doing it even before you prepare, because I've done some things, God knows. If you do look back on some of them videos, they're kind of janky, Lisa. But I can tell you a couple of things. And I never, kick somebody for their hustle. But if you're going to get on and do a Zoom video, at least make the attempt to clear up your background. Do more than a piece of note paper that you even balled up and did it. But I will tell you what, the information was valuable. She did not disappoint for the information that she provided, but how she provided it, baby, it was a mess. And I'm thinking if she would just get the support she needed, she could just make money hand over fist. So I reached out to her to say, hey, I would like to support you in this. And here was the interesting part, Lisa. She didn't want any help because she thought she had it going on. Needless to say, after a few people put out some reviews on her particular business, she's no longer in business. And that's a sad state because the reality is all she needed was a few tweaks because she got frustrated. And I reached out again, even though she wasn't teachable, because I'm one of those people, I'm newsy. I want to know, why did you quit? People were just too rude. People were just, How about your trash wasn't in one bag? How about you didn't understand branding or you didn't understand marketing or how to present yourself? And there are ways to have that done. And we're going to be talking about that today. And I've said a lot, Lisa. So let me let you get a word in edgewise. Can you tell I got a lot of caffeine in me today?
I can. I swear it's not tea. I don't know much tea that has caffeine. There are some, but for the most part. Well, what happened was COVID. Mm-hmm. COVID came in and you no longer had to be as polished as you had to be prior to COVID. And so it was so much easier to jump on and start using what you do and start teaching courses. And people gave away so many free courses during COVID. And they said, use this framework and go out and do your own. The problem is when you develop a framework, that framework comes with a lot of foundation because you've already gone through the mess. You've already figured out your problems. And you are a subject matter expert in that area and how to teach it. I can give people a script of how to teach any course that I have. The reality is they will all teach it differently. And like you said, the background's really important. If you have a messy background, if I was sitting in my kitchen and I have my dishes piled up because they're drying, if that was my background, that would not look professional. Mm. And so, and some people don't like this background. They don't like the trees coming out. Well, the problem is I like my trees. So for me, it's okay, but it's not messy.
Let's take a pin right there because backgrounds are really important. You know, I'm in the process of redoing my studio. So I moved into my dining room and I simply set out some of the books I had, my Talk to Me logo. I have my boxing gloves because I am fit for the fight. And I still have my little Christmas tree up on the wall because it makes me happy. But the key is it's a pleasant background that's not too off-putting for most people. And I've got some compliments. And now I had a couple of people say, "Where you at, girl?" I said, "I'm in my dining room." And that's part of doing business your way, just like you have your wall art that you like. And the key is what we both had to come to grips with. And I hope someone listening will catch this. Everybody ain't going to like you. Everybody's not going to like your background. And guess what? You don't need everybody to like it. You just need your tribe to like you because your tribe is your vibe and they will love you no matter how you show up. Well, it does matter how you show up. Let me correct that. They will love you, but they want you to show up in a way that's pleasing to them. And I think that's one of the things when we're talking about doing business your way and creating a solid foundation. Everybody's foundation is going to be different, Lisa. And, you know, we talked about earlier before the camera was rolling that how almost 1 in 5 businesses, I believe it is, due to research, fail the first 5 years. And let me look at my notes and make sure I say that. It says that, nearly not 1 in 5, Jesus, 50%, nearly half. Oh my goodness, of all small business fail within the first 5 years due to lack of planning and inadequate resources. Yeah, y'all, we ain't playing today. I got notes.
And 1 in 5 is actually in the first year.
Oh, wow. And that's why I just stuck in my head. And here's the thing. Why do we have notes today? Because we want to make sure we don't miss the things that we want to get across to you guys today. Because I was so incensed by what I saw lately. Now, one of the things that we covered before was imposter syndrome and FOMO, which is fear of missing out. You know, when I first started here on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you know, and all the other crap, because someone had a framework, Lisa, and said, you need to do this. And then I tried to do that, but that wasn't my jam. What I had to start learning was what's my lane, what fits for me. And I encourage all entrepreneurs when they come into the portal, we have a monthly coaching group I call the Solutionist Portal. And it's just starting, y'all. So we are going in there and it's a monthly fee to be a member of the group. But what happens when you get in that group is you get access to me and access to Lisa and access to all the other entrepreneurs in there. And we are committed to making sure you get to do business your way and that you get those things that most of us wish we had in the beginning, which is why Lisa and I wrote the book, How to Save Money and Time and Amazingly Simple Business Tips, because those are the things we wish somebody had told us before we went out and spent all this money, got on all these social media platforms, not understanding analytics, SEOs, which is search engine optimization. I can finally say that, Lisa. There was so much we didn't know, but here's the best part, y'all. It was a good thing that I know Lisa knew a lot of it. I didn't know most of it, and I'm glad I didn't, because had I known it, I never would have started. I would have been too overwhelmed, too scared to even put my toe in the water, what they say, quote unquote, the correct way, Lisa. But see, I did it unaware, and I call it, and tripped up. And started doing business my way. And I could do that because the truth is, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 9 years old. Lisa, my first business was a candy store out of the back of my mother's laundry room where I sold candy to all the kids in the neighborhood. I bought my school clothes with that money. And I had the bug from there. Then the next thing I did was real estate. And then I went on to have a lingerie business. I've sold probably everything from Crystal House to Mary Kay and everything in between, because it's in me. It's something that was instilled in me as a little girl because I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. We didn't buy stuff, we made stuff. That was our thing. It was like, if you don't have it, you either create it or you find a way to make what you want to do possible. That's part of the entrepreneurial spirit. And I see a lot of people in this COVID environment having that desire to create businesses. But what I don't see is a lot of them going back to really set a rock solid foundation so they can become an unstoppable entrepreneur. So I want to talk about the 6 tips that you and I were discussing earlier that would help them do just that, have a rock solid foundation. And before we go into those tips, Lisa, I want to mention that I was astounded when I worked at the hospital years ago when I first learned about foundations and how one little crack in a foundation can make a whole building fall down. We've seen it in several different things, unfortunately, over the past few years with 9/11, with what happened in Florida with the condos. When they talk about what makes a building collapse, it's the same principle with a building with an improper foundation. Because the one thing that I was most fascinated about when I found out about foundations was this one fact that I still to this day think is amazing, is that a foundation has to be deep enough to support the weight of what goes above it. So if you are a small business owner, you're in Zoom land, and all you want to do is get on there like this one lady I know. All she wants to do is sell her crocheted pot holders. And she's selling them, y'all. I mean, she's bringing in over $1,000 a month crocheting pot holders. I thought that was it. She didn't know fancy pictures, no nothing, but that's all she wants. She don't care about the business stuff and everything. And it's really a hobby for her, but it's also a business. And here's the thing, her foundation ain't got to be that deep because all she has to do is make sure she got a crochet needle, some yarn, and she got her camera on her computer. She didn't even buy a camera. She used her camera on her computer, and she's all in YouTube and she's happy. For her success is that people enjoy her pot holders. Don't have to have a deep foundation for that. But now if you're talking about speaking to people all over the world and you want to have an audience of hundreds of stuff, you can't get basic Zoom and you want to be talking for an hour because it's going to cut off in 30 minutes. Also, you need to have the ability to have more people on your line. So you're going to have to spend some money. So again, your foundation has to be deep enough to support the weight of your business. So with that said, Lisa, let's go on to our very first tip of the day. Set clear, achievable goals. You got to set a goal, make a plan, get to work, stick to it to reach your goal. What you got to say, Lisa? I'm going to shut up for a
minute. It's funny because SMART goals are the most painful thing for people. And, I always tell people make it fun. And I realize for me to say make tedious administrative stuff fun sounds really odd, but you can find a way to make it fun. You could do your SMART goals by making a vision board for your SMART goals. Just go ahead and just set it on out. Do a nice vision board. Vision boards don't have to be fancy. Vision boards can go right on your wall if that's where you want it to be. And then you can take a picture of it and then you can bring it on down if you don't want to keep it up. But you really do have to have those critically important goals. They have to be specific. They have to be measurable. They have to be achievable. They have to be relevant, and they have to be time bound. Those are necessary because if you do not have goals and if you do not set goals, then what are you going for? Mm-hmm. You have to have a target. Every single thing you do, you want a target for. And if you don't like the photo idea and making a vision board, then you can also make a fun and colorful checklist and just write it out like a simple checklist. That way it may not seem so painful. And another way is there are some people who use a diary, those people who love to journal. As you're journaling, go ahead and write down your SMART goals. and make it part of your daily journaling process. But everybody has to have a goal. That is part of the most, that is probably the most important part of your foundation, is you have to know where you're going, because otherwise you're not going to know how you're going to get there.
And that's so important, Lisa. And that's one of the things I love, that we as a collective discuss the importance of goal setting. And I know there's some people that have moved away from that process, but in the portal, we talk about not just goal setting, but having accountability and also strategically planning so that you can actually accomplish your goals. Because it's one thing to have a goal, those are nice. But if you don't take action on your goals, you're never going to meet them. And we're going to move on to number 2. Our number 2 topic is have a daily routine. Create a daily routine. Your daily routine matters. You know, Lisa, I didn't used to have a daily routine. And when we started doing
75
getting
hard.
up, no, we did that in the next slide. Under self-development. When we started doing our getting up early in the mornings and all the different things, for me, it was easy to get up early because 20 years of the Marine Corps, I get up every morning without an alarm clock at 4 a.m. without fail. But I usually don't get up to 5. But once I'm up, you know, I do my daily routine, my prayer, my meditation, my journaling, my affirmations, and my exercise, and then I start my day. And for some people, that may seem a mite much. But what I found is that for a lot of entrepreneurs, they're not setting a foundation of having a daily routine. They're just kind of like throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing if it sticks. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And they're wondering why they're not successful. What say you about a daily routine?
Well, I am one of those people that my daily routine used to be get up, take a shower, get in my car, and go to work. Whatever time I woke up, if I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I was at work at 6 a.m. And when I started my business back in 2013, that's when I realized, wait a minute, I have to have some time to do my business, because my business, I was laid off, and then I started a business, and then I went back to work, and I realized that I wasn't as productive as I wanted to be. And that's when I said in my daily routine, like you, I get up between 4 and 4:30 every morning, just because that's when I wake up. And but the first 30 minutes or so, I actually lay in my bed listening to my audiobook and doing stretches in bed. You know, you do your legs, your arms, both sides, etc. That kind of gets me moving. And then I have my water that's right by my bed, and I drink my water. Then I get up, and then I work out. Then I take my shower. I eat my breakfast. Sometimes I journal. Sometimes I'll read a page or two of a book, but not really. There's something I'm looking for. There are a couple of books that I have that are actual books and not just that. And I think that's important. And I do not turn on my email until I've been up for 2 hours. So if I'm running late, I still don't turn on my email. I don't care if I don't get up until 8 o'clock in the morning and my day is already starting. I wait 2 hours before I turn my email on, because email is such a distractor. And the same thing, if you're going into an office building and you're going into work, do not open your email first thing when you get there. That will be the death of your day. And if you put that routine in place, nobody's going to expect you to send an email or respond to an email or 7, 8, 9, 10 in the morning. They'll always expect it afterwards. So then they get used to not hearing from you first thing in the morning. And if it's important, they'll call you. I know that's old school, but it's my school.
But you know, again, that talks about how we do our routines. It may not work for everybody that's listening, but what we want to express to all of you is that, remember, it's doing business your way, so you set your routine. Now, we started this by saying set strong foundations in your personal and business life. And we're going to, I want to point out that it's important to have goals for your personal life as well as your business life. And when you're talking about your daily routine is so important for your family, your significant other, your friends, so they know how you function. If you don't have clear boundaries on your work life and your work life routines, you can have people feeling neglected. So you need to really check that. So our next tip is about one of my favorite practices, practice of self-care. I love this here particular image because it's something like she got up in the morning, she got up, her alarm's off, she took a shower, she ate something, she got dressed, and then boy, she's strictly business. And a lot of us, we do that, but some of those things may be missing in between. Self-care is not just about your physical. Self-care is about your emotional, your physical, your financial, your spiritual, your social. I think as entrepreneurs, we often neglect everything except for the business and then wonder why we don't have the relationships of a lifetime or why our businesses aren't thriving. Because it's just like when you work out your body, if you do not rest and take time to recuperate and to regroup, you're not going to get the gains that you want. What do you think, Lisa?
No, I think you're right. And in fact, I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day. She's so overwhelmed. She's got so many events she's doing that she considered that part of self-care was the events. And I said, no, those events are work-based. They're not self-care. Right. You know, self-care can be something as simple as soaking your feet. Mm-hmm. It can be as simple as taking the time to do your nails. It can be anything that causes you to relax. It does not have to be anything complicated. It does not have to be anything. But if you do not consciously do it, mm-hmm. it is not self-care. It is a conscious action. It can be part of a routine or not. But if it's a part of a routine, you want to make sure that you're conscious when you're doing it, that you're very aware when you're doing it, that you're very present. You know, a lot of people are not present anymore. It's really a lost art to be present. It's a lost art to, you know, do mindful eating. Believe it or not, mindful eating is self-care, taking the time to enjoy what you're eating. And I think that for me, self-care, I used to not think twice about self-care until somebody annoyed me and just made me break my limit.
Who would be that? You know, Lisa, I wanted to say too, self-care, especially in this COVID thing, you know, they're saying over 80% of Americans are reporting that they're lonely. And it's saying there's a loneliness epidemic right now. So I want to remind those people that are listening that or will hear the replay. Self-care is also taking care of yourself emotionally by connecting with others through networking your business, but also in your home life. It can be self-care sitting on the couch watching a movie with your boo or your kids or with a friend. It can be self-care taking a walk in the park with someone important to you. It can be self-care making a phone call so that you can get that human connection that just does not happen when you're texting, okay? So remember, make self-care a priority and take care of yourself. Our next tip, Lisa, is invest in continuous learning. You know, you and I are serious about our sales, our success, our earnings, our growth, and our development, which is why I picked this particular slide because it spoke to me. It said, yeah, girl, that's me. Was I having too much fun with these slides? Yes, I was. You know, here, I'm going to say this about it. I'm going to let you go because I know this is your area. I am tired of taking courses. Now, I don't need to take another course as long as I live because I've probably taken every course on the planet. Some that don't even make sense, but it was a course. And I am hi, I'm Brenda. I'm a learning junkie.
And a shiny object person. Don't forget that.
I'm addicted to learning. It is a true fact. If I don't learn something every day, I go through withdrawals, Lisa. And I mention that because as I'm talking to my fellow entrepreneurs in the portal, I'm finding people taking, I'm like, this one lady, I barred her from taking classes for like 2 months. I thought she was going to die. And why is that? Because she always feeling like they got to get this next best thing. But here's the thing. There's nothing new under the sun. And I want to say this with all humility, honesty. I don't even know what the right word is, but clarity. Leadership was leadership in 1810, just like it is in 2023. How many leadership classes do you need? Execute on the leadership class you already have. I've known people that's taken one leadership class and can lead people from here to you know what. And then there's other people that took 20 leadership classes and can't lead their way out of a wet paper bag. The point is, assess and address what you really need. If you need it, take a class on it. If you don't, stop taking classes and start doing the work. What you got, Lisa?
Well, I think that's a solid point there. It's it's not as much taking the class as it is by taking action for what you took in the class. I would only do one professional development a year and schedule only one professional development a year at work because I wanted to be able to implement everything I learned. When you take courses and when you do workshops and when you attend all of these things, the challenge is you have to be able to take action on it. That's why I really like the idea of short courses that cause me and require me to take action. I don't teach a course that you're not doing action while you're in it, or that you have homework that you're not being able to take and put it to immediate use. And a lot of times the courses we take are so drawn out that it becomes very painful for us to actually sit through it and complete it. And most people don't complete them. Oh, I'll get to it later. But the minute you don't complete that course, it means you're not going to do anything that you learned. And you wasted your valuable time. We only have 1,440 minutes in a 24-hour period. Sorry about that.
The beauty of life.
Yeah. And it won't shut off. There we go. I thought it was turned off, so it blew my mind. It wasn't. But when you think about the importance and the value of everything that you pay for and everything you get for free, somebody, even when you do the free ones, somebody has taken the time to put it together and they want you to take action on it. And sometimes it's hard because they don't know what action they want you to take, because none of us are cookie cutter. We're 1 in 33 million. Which means we learn differently, we do differently, we have different needs, our businesses are all different. So whatever it is you've taken, make sure that you master it. It's kind of like social media. People are on so many platforms. Master one social media platform. If you want to learn something, go and learn about the platform that you're on and that you're using for your business. Learn something about your business, because there's so much learning all around us that courses are not always required. And like you said, sometimes they are. But even with the courses you take, look to see what is going to happen in that course, because that course may not be for you. The topic may be for you, but based on what's on the agenda, that may not interest you. And if that does not interest you, the topic, even though it does, the course won't, and you'll be wasting your time. And you only have so many hours in a day. Like I said, 1,440 minutes in a day. And none of it's renewable, none of it's refundable. Every minute you waste on a class that you're not going to follow through on is a waste. And part of our foundation and part of our professional development all falls in taking and learning every single day.
And Lisa, while you're talking about they're wasting time, you're also wasting your money, because if you don't take action on it, that's not a good return on your investment. But also, before we move to our next tip, I want to bring in the personal side to this, because you need to invest in your personal self as well. There are so many entrepreneurs that look at me and give me the side eye when I ask them, what is the last class you took on relationship development? 9 times out of 10, Lisa, they cannot name one class. Well, that's when I recommend them to coaches like Coach Ken Canyon, who is a relationship coach, or Focus James, who is the love and life coach, who's teaching people how to have juicy lives all over the place. Coach Ken Canyon is straight no chaser, and he's teaching women how to have love over 40 and so much more. He's teaching men and women. He's no joke. Y'all need to go check those people out. And if you want to have information about Coach Canyon or Focus James, just DM me and I will give it to you, because it is my contention that if your personal life is jacked up, your business life will suffer. Because you see it during the pandemic, so many people are so disconnected, they don't even find joy in their jobs anymore, because human connection is a part of we're social creatures. You need to invest just as much as you do in your business, in your personal life. If you are married, have date nights. If you're single, trying to get there, create date nights, create family fun nights for you, the kid, and the spouse, or your significant other. Do things that bring back the connection. Here's a clue. Take these cell phones and turn them off. Lisa, yesterday I had to go pick up Alex, and I saw a mother and daughter, and they were all in the la la la. They sat down, got their sandwiches, and the whole entire time they were on their cell phones. They never connected once, and I could not help myself. I said, "Excuse me, ladies." I could not help but seeing you guys enjoy your meal. And I told the young lady, I said, "Is this your mom?" She said, "Mm-hmm." I said, I said, "This your daughter?" Mm-hmm. I said, "I lost my mom in 2012, and I would give anything to have lunch with her and pay attention to what she had to say." I just wanted to share that because I noticed both of you were on your cell phones, and there's going to be a day you're going to wish you got off that cell phone and actually paid attention to each other. I waited for them to either cuss me or act a fool, but they didn't. Both of them did it at the same time. They put their phones in their purses. I said, "Enjoy your day, ladies, and enjoy each other. And thank you for giving me time to share my thoughts." You can't walk up and do it to everybody, Lisa, because some folks will cuss you, but I had a good feeling about them. They look like they had a good spirit. They're just a little misdirected. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening out there, put your cell phone down. Connect with somebody you love. Guess what? Instagram, YouTube, it's not going to go nowhere. You can always watch the replay or see it later. But as Lisa talked about, the minutes that are taken away, they're not coming back. Our kids are growing up, going off, going to college, getting married, doing whatever. Our spouses, we have so many people got divorced during the pandemic, Lisa, because they didn't know who they were. They didn't know who their partner was. They've drifted apart. A lot of that drifted is coming from these electronic devices, computers, cell phones, etc., iPads, and yada yada. Don't come for me, y'all. I'm just saying, y'all know it's the truth. We need to put these electronic devices down and get back to connecting with each other so that we can have more peaceful interactions. Maybe all this madness is going to here will stop. Connect with somebody today. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Next tip. It's all about embrace failure and learn from your mistakes. Okay, Lisa. Failure, try, success. Failure, try, success. I was told recently that failure is simply success in progress. And I love that. So when I saw that illustration, you're trying and you're going back and forth, I really like that because I've had a lot of so-called mistakes in my life. I now deem them as choices. However, at the time when I got married the first time, the second time, and the third time, I was like, girl, there's only one common denominator in all three of those things, and that was me. And that's why I hired a coach, a relationship coach, to help me figure out what it is about me that keeps me in this never ending loop of not being able to sustain a healthy, loving relationship. Well, Lisa, I've done the work. It cost me money, it cost me time, but it also improved my outlook to a point that now I'm ready to love like there's no heartbreak. I believe in unconditional love. And I understand now that I married three amazing men that just were the wrong men for me. No shade to you guys. Shout out. Okay, Lisa, what's your thought? Oh, and with that note, I'm also going to marry another amazing man. But this time, I'm going to pick the right man and I'm going to have the right attitude so that I can be the right partner for that person.
There you go. And you know what? That is what's important. It's what we learn through our lives. You know, I have made so many mistakes, and I have had the advantage of saying to people, hey, I'm teaching you so you don't make the same mistakes I made. For example, I didn't use any resources when I started my business.
Mm-hmm.
And my business was a hot mess by the time I got to the EBV program. And I didn't even know it was a hot mess. But I learned about the small business development centers and I went to them for guidance. And so I think every mistake that I made and every failure I had, because one of my businesses didn't work and I just pivoted and did something different. And during COVID, a lot of people have failed. And you know, failure is just success turned inside out. That's really all it is. And so when we just take failure as a lesson learned instead of as, oh, I failed, because I don't care if I fail. If I'm not trying, I'm not failing. It's literally that simple. I always think of Michael Jordan, and one of his quotes that I used to talk to my kids about all the time was he had said something about he failed 9,000 times. Because every time he missed a basket, that was a failure. And I thought it was a fascinating way to tell kids it's okay to fail.
It's okay.
Because here you have a superstar who really used his celebrity as a way to educate and say failing is okay. And I think that I really love that. And I love that anytime I failed, and I failed a lot, as long as I get back up, that failure did not take me down.
Well, what I love is my mother taught me very early that fail just means find another ideal later. So that way I never sat in defeat because I knew that even if this didn't work out, this too shall pass and something better was coming. And for all of you out there that are looking for relationships, remember this too shall pass. Heartbreak doesn't last always. It is a choice. Love is a choice. And you get to choose if you're going to sit in misery and let your past hold you hostage to failed mistakes and failed relationships, or you're going to move forward and let love flourish. I challenge each and every one of you to love like there's no heartbreak. And if you don't know how, hit a sister up because I'll tell you how you can do it. Next tip, Lisa. Tip number 6. Connect with like-minded individuals. I just can't say enough about networking and finding the people that you align with. Also, find some contentious people as well. Because, if you stay in a bubble where everybody thinks like you, that's no fun. You need to find those people that think like you, but also the people that don't. So you get some opposing views. I love going into rooms that I'm not often welcomed or accepted at. Why? Because I learn so much about others and I truly learn a lot about myself. Because especially our political environment of late has me understanding one of the most important things my mother ever taught me was it is okay to agree to disagree without being disagreeable. I want to find a way to bring civility back and to have people connect in a way that makes it okay to view, to what do you say, to talk about your views without being vilified, without canceling somebody, and without having to make them wrong and that you have to be right. We can have different views. You and I often disagree on things, but we find a way to find that middle ground where we can agree to disagree without being disagreeable. And that's an important part of networking, I feel. It's not often talked about. Networking is just not about finding somebody and see what they can do for you or what you can do for them, but it's about developing relationships that last and will be mutually beneficial.
No, and I agree. And Diane Duquette, she works over at Cooley Dickinson Hospital. When I got out of the military, she was my boss, and she was the vice president of development out there at the time, and she taught me all about cultivation. And cultivation is so important. It's building to get that relationship. And so I teach businesses on LinkedIn. If you connected with somebody on LinkedIn, then what you want to do is 2 weeks after you connect with them, you want to give them something of value. There was a reason you connected with them. There was something that you wanted to work with them on. Whatever that subject is, go out, find something, share an article, share something 2 weeks after, and then 30 days later, do something else. Come up with your own timeline, but that's my timeline, 2 weeks, and then every 30 days after that. And then eventually take that off of LinkedIn and into emails and have nice conversations. Because for me, it's always about the value of people. I don't connect with people based on quantity. I connect with people based on quality because I need to know that I can help you and you can help me. And so when people go to connect with me, I'm often reading they've either said why, or I'm going into their bio to see why they think we would be a good connection. And so oftentimes I'll say no, but the ones that I want to connect with, the ones that for me are going to add value, I make sure I keep them. There's a reason I connected with them. So I will make sure that I send them something on a continual basis so that they know who I am. And that helps build, and it also builds your network outside, because you should always ask if you need something. If you're looking for a reference, if you're looking for somebody who might enjoy a course you're teaching or a book you're writing, send them a link. And it won't be so off kilter if you kept that relationship and that conversation going.
And it's just like in personal relationships. They don't just grow without any kind of fertilization. It's important if you say that the reason you're in business is to support and grow your family, then you want to act like you have a family. You want to give them the time they need to feel loved, valued, and cherished. You need to cultivate the relationships that are important to you, because if you don't, you're going to lose them. Just like in business, if you don't cultivate relationships, even in business, you lose them. Lisa, next I want to talk about investing in yourself today. I love this little chart because it said, I can do it. I want to do it. How do I do it? I'll try to do it. I can do it. I will do it. Success. When I saw that, I thought about us and some of the conversations that we had. And I put down there, Brenda, the solution is at gmail.com. Because if you are truly committed to your success and you want to see that, I want you to send me an email and tell me why Lisa or I should work with you, why you should join our portal. Some of you are saying, why should we tell you that? Because we only work with implementers. See, the thing is, we do business our way. A lot of people are out here begging everybody to work with them and do it. We don't do that. We simply say, this is what we have to offer you. And if it works for you, let us know. And then we'll let you know if we can work for you. Some people say that's a little arrogant, or how dare you? I'm saying how I dare is like this. Recently, Lisa, I had a lady that wanted to work with me. And she was willing to pay thousands of dollars. And I was excited about it. We're taking her intake form and everything. And then she mentioned she was working with an executive coach. And I went ding, 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 ding. I said, well, if you're working with an executive coach already, why do you want to work with me? Oh, I see you on YouTube. I like you to tell yourself too. She's going on. I said, let me ask you something. How long have you worked with this executive coach? Oh, I've been working with her for the past year. I said, and how much, if you don't mind me asking, did it cost you? Oh, she's cheaper than you. I paid $12,000. I said, you paid $12,000 to work with her. I said, okay. So you were committed to paying for that. So I said, tell me the last thing she told you that you implemented. Oh, well, I've been really busy. I said, okay, if not the last thing, tell me one thing she told you that you implemented. And she said, well, I just really like talking to her. And I kind of knew that throughout as our conversation went on. So she has a habit of taking courses like Tony Robbins and different people and yada, yada, just to name a few. Because I asked her, tell me all the courses you're taking. She's in every seminar, every webinar. She has the money. She can't afford it, but she does nothing with the information. And I said, well, it's clear that you and I are not a fit. And she said, whoa. I said, no. I said, I'm going to be refunding the money that you sent. And I do not feel like I'm the right person to work with you, because I only work with people that are committed to their success. Because I don't want you going out and telling somebody, I work with Brenda Solutionist, and they see you and you tore from the floor up and no, that will not work for me. And she was upset. And I didn't care, because why? Because those are the very people that clog up the system. Those kind of people are assholes. They're never-ending questioning pits that never do anything with it. And I want to be straight in the camera when I say this. Please understand, your time is valuable. Every customer is not your customer. You have to draw a line in the sand when you say you're going to do business your way, and determine who is your customer. Who's your avatar? What is your unique value proposition? How do you want to show up in these social media streets, in your business environment? Does your offer dictate that you should have to run for every person that shows up at your door saying they want your service? I would like to commit to you that it is a no. When you're clear on what your purpose is, when you're clear on what you do, you get to choose who you work with. And when you do that, you come from a position of strength, and you will attract the people that are ready to get their businesses to the next level, or to use your services in a way that will benefit them and you. Okay, I'm off my soapbox, Lisa. What you got for that?
Well, I do agree with you that one of the things that a lot of small businesses, especially people who don't have strong foundations, do is they take on any client. Mm-hmm. But if you think about the client that you take on that is a non-action taker, because for Brenda and I, if you're a non-action taker, really, it's not only about the ROI, it's about the energy that I've put into you and the energy you took from me. if you're not an action taker. So that's kind of why that's kind of what you need to consider when you are looking at your customers. And that's why Brenda says, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you are more valuable than you give yourself credit for.
Absolutely.
And if you bring in somebody as a client who is going to take so much time and energy, and even though they're only paying so much, there's a problem with that. And that problem is they're taking all the energy. And if you really sat down and wrote the time out that you spent answering multiple questions, and I'm not saying multiple questions are wrong, but what I'm saying is if they're not taking action and they just keep coming back with question after question after question, then you really do need to look at the ROI and how much time you're actually spending. Because generally, 80% of clients are those who will cost you the most money because they're not taking action.
Absolutely. The final one, invest in you, is about coaching, Lisa. Coaching. Coaching costs money. When you go to see the different coaches out there, you can see there's a range of prices. And what I created in the Solutionist portal was a small monthly fee so they can get the access to coaching that is good, that's professional, and that will help them go to the next level. And if anyone is interested in finding out what that entails and how you do that, then all you have to do is go to convenecommunities.com and register /22224, or you go to Convene Communities and put down in the referral Brenda Warren. You can join for free. It doesn't cost you a thing to go in there and look and see what we're doing. There's a lot of free training and everything, but to join the portal, there is a monthly fee. But you go there, you look around, you can see it. In that portal, we're teaching people about how to develop passive income. We're teaching them how to create content, how to sell their content, how to brand, how to go to the next level. But we're working with people that are ready to make it happen in an affordable way. Everybody can't afford the one-on-one prices that we charge, but everybody can afford, if you're a new business and you're making anything, you can afford this monthly fee. And here's it. There's no long-term commitment. You can come in there for 1 month, see what you like it. You don't like it, leave. We're not mad at you, because I only want people that's going to be in there that's going to be a benefit to the group. So I purposely did not make it so that it was outrageous or anything. But what is in that group is going to blow people's mind, because we're bringing in professionals to talk to them, to give them the kind of insight and information that they're paying thousands and thousands of dollars for elsewhere. It's all in this little group called Convene Communities, the Life Community, where there's a Solutionist portal. And I look forward to seeing some of you join me. If you're not sure, you can always DM me and I can answer your questions. Lisa, what do you think about the coaching that we've been sharing with different people?
You know, I think it's one of the great things about the coaching is the fact that it's personalized. It's not cookie cutter, because we are all so different and everybody is so different. And I think one of the things that I really enjoy about your coaching specifically is it really is no chaser. It really is just a straightforward. I mean, I'm straightforward, but I'm straightforward dry. You're straightforward funny. I mean, there's, you know, for me, I have a tendency to be a little bit more stern, because that's how, that says, as a 15-minute results coach, you got 15 minutes and that's it and it's done. For you, it's all about making that personal connection. And I think that that's what makes your community so good, is that it's not just about business. Yes, it is about business. That is the primary. But you also understand that life gets in the way. And you also understand that you have to build life into your business. And that is such a unique, backwards way, but logical way to do things. And I think anybody, when they need coaching, that's a good way to do it, because you don't know what you don't know until somebody tells you.
Lisa, when you said the part about life gets in the way, I immediately went to the first time I heard somebody say it, and I thought, for someone that thinks the way you do, I see that. But for someone like me, I say life is the way, because I'm so clear that if entrepreneurs, just people in general, will start to understand how truly important our families are, how truly important connection is, and they start there, that they would even make better decisions on the type of businesses that they start, the businesses that they run, the careers that they choose. Because right now, if you look at the landscape of entrepreneurship, everybody's out here throwing all this stuff out here and stuff. And on Instagram, in what I call, we're living our lives in sound bites. People seem like they're so happy. They're in all these occasions. Most of the time when people see me, I'm sitting right here in my dining room. But see, y'all are seeing my life in small sound bites. You may not see when I'm outside because I don't put everything on social media. There's some people, every time they take a poop, it's on social media. What's the point? I don't need to know all that about you, okay? Not that interesting. But the truth is, if we would get interested in the people that are our inner circle, Lisa, I'll tell you this, and we need to go because we've been talking a long time today, which is unusual, but I'm on vacation, so I'm just running all out the mouth. Here's the deal. I was at the hospital, and one of my coworkers had a heart attack. If I'm lying, I'm flying. There ain't no wings on my back. God be my witness. Heart attack, and died. The man was still at his desk. His wife worked in the hospital, and she's running down there. How horrified do you think she was when she's trying to get herself together to notify family, and she sees one of the alerts about a vacant position in the hospital? And it was her husband who just passed, who was still at the desk. I say that because that was the moment when I realized how replaceable all of us are. And in some cases, I wasn't surprised by the director that did that because they really were not a people person. But my God, could you have waited till they moved the man out off the desk before you posted his position?
I'm not a people person, and I wouldn't have done that. Just
saying. That was an extreme case, but I've seen situations like that. The key is you could lose your job today or tomorrow. You could go bankrupt, or God forbid, you can have a natural disaster and everything you own is gone. Where do you start? Where do you start? You're looking around going, I don't have a house or a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, but my family is alive. And you start over. Sometimes I think about what would I do if I lost everything today? Would I cry? Probably I cried. But you know what? I could start over because as long as I have my health, my mind, my strength, my faith, and my family as well, Lisa, ain't no demon in hell can stop me. And that's the part where I say doing business your way is about being intentional about the way you do business so that your personal life does not suffer because of your business life, and that you actually get to live your best life now, what is now no opportunity wasted. And with that, I don't want to waste the opportunity to tell people about your new book, From Duty to Destiny, A Guide to Essential A to Z of Lessons We Learned in the Military. If you're a veteran, you better get this book. It's on Amazon. It's under $15, if I'm not mistaken. Lisa, is that not correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And take a look at it. We're trying to right now get it into TAPs. And so if any of you veterans out there know how we can talk to somebody in the TAP, because I think everybody that is getting out needs to have this, because you need to get out there in the civilian community and work and use your military skills. But it's not just for military, because I had someone that had bought it recently and said, hey, this works for me as well. And if you're an entrepreneur, I want you to get the 52-week entrepreneur journal. It is filled with all kind of stuff that you can use. It's your business at a glance section in there, and your opportunity to track your progress of your business over a 52-week period. You don't want to miss this. It's like under $15 as well. These are two resources that we produced with the intention of giving those people that are ready to implement their opportunity to do so. Lisa, we talked about a lot today.
We did.
And I know I went on and on, but I'm excited that you spent more than the normal time with me today to let me unpack all this stuff that's been running around in my brain. And with everything we said, is there any one message you really want to get to our audience before we close this out?
I think the most important thing that anybody can say is you have to have a foundation. You have to be intentional about your actions. Use the resources that are out there, because there are a ton of resources out there. And, having a coach and going into the convene community and having people who are like-minded, i.e. business owners, people interested in business, people interested in publishing, it's amazing the millions of ideas that can come out of that. And that's one of the advantages of having a strong foundation. If your foundation is not strong, it's not too late to go back and fix it. You can go get training, you can go pay attention, you can listen, you can ask the questions. If you don't know whether or not it is a strong foundation, go to your small business development centers or your SBAs, the Small Business Administration. SCORE. There's a whole bunch of resources available to you to check out and make sure you've got a strong foundation.
Well, y'all know at the end of the show, those of you that are still hanging on with us, we tap in. So how do you tap in to having a strong business and personal life foundation? First of all, you decide with the T. You transform your mindset to know that it's even possible to have a strong business life as well as a strong personal life. And I want you to also change your mindset that they are separate, because if you understand that they both fuel each other, because the mama say, ain't no money, ain't no honey. Y'all better get it together and understand that they are connected. So changing your mindset about what business and what your business and your personal life looks like and how you can do business your way is the first step. Number two, I want you to announce to the world or to your significant or to yourself that you're ready to do business your way, and then get some accountability. You can get that accountability by going to the next step, which is the P. That's where you prepare. You hire the coach or coaches that will be able to support you. I may not be the coach for you. Lisa may not be the coach for you, but guess what? We know tons of coaches. We don't want money to be a deterrent for you or even our personalities. What we want you to do is seek the help you need. Remember, even a donkey can tell you something good sometime. So you want to reach out, DM us, email me, do something. And if we're not the right fit for you, then we will help you find a coach that is. And we know tons of them. Don't sleep on it, because there are a lot of amazing people out there ready to help you be the best version of you. Then I want you to go to the I stage. That's where you imagine, what would your life look like if you had the proper foundation in your business and personal life so that you could build the business you want and have the personal life of your dreams. Think about that for a second, because a lot of us don't even know what we want. While I'm at it, remember, what do you want? Why do you want it? How does it benefit you? How does it benefit others? And what are you willing to do to get it? Imagine that. And then finally, we want you to nurture. Take all of that stuff and nurture the thought that you are an infinite creator, that everything you need is inside of you. And everything you need is at your fingertips through Google, YouTube University, and all the coaches and people that are out here giving webinars, seminars, and the like. You have no excuse. The only thing holding you back is fear. And what is fear? Future events already ruined. So don't ruin your future events. Simply step out of your comfort zone, take action, and make it happen. And if you need help with that, you can go to Take Action University. One of my favorite places, that is Lisa's brainchild, where we only graduate implementers. Information on that's available when you DM me or Lisa as well. I'm so excited that you all joined in here today or on the replay. We'll be back next week with something that's on our mind, because we can. Any last thoughts, Lisa?
No, you are the only thing in your way is all I ever tell people. And, Brenda brought up the fact that a coworker had died at their desk. And it's not the only time it's happened in this lifetime of ours. But I will remind you that I have never heard anybody say or read an obituary where they said, I wish I would have spent more time. I've heard them say, I wish I spent more time with family, but never, I wish I spent more time at work. Oh, I've heard them say, I wish I spent more time on myself. I wish I took better care of myself. But I've never heard them say, I wish I spent more time at work, because that is not a true statement.
Absolutely. Well, remember, as always, the choices you make today will be the reality you live tomorrow. So choose wisely and choose Take Action University, because it's there.